A year ago or 2000?
Yes, it's really good.
People get. Thank you for coming, everybody.
About 8:30.
I really appreciate it. A few small announcements. Number one, if you haven't already, there's a table in the back corner over there that has like a poster on it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like our desk book, but it's a poster. So please go sign it. And if you already have signed it, go back and sign it again because it's not full. And it's hurting my feelings every time I go look at it and realize not all the leaves are full. But thank you for coming. What was the other announcement I need to make? Oh, the founder of the company that I work for is his best, and one of the board members is here. So nobody say anything too terrible to these guys over here at the table, because I don't want to lose my job. But besides that, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Public Q, for the wonderful video of our wedding, and for keeping the camera on our face even when you fell over. Dedicated to his craft.
And never wait for cake. Go ahead and start eating them.
World, I am famously known for the Poopcast. And on Twitter for what Katrina Googled. So with that said, I Googled how to write a phenomenal wedding speech for a reception. The first thing Google told me to do was to tell who I am, so done and done. The second thing was to give thanks. So thank you everyone for coming and sharing a special day with Jeremy and Christy, as they're probably all excited for you to be here. The third thing Google told me was to tell a story about the bride. No, don't worry. Well, I have known Christy for about 14 years now, and we met in a training class when we started working at AT&T Wireless. I was this quiet, shy person that kind of kept to themselves. And as you all know, Christy is the complete opposite of me. She is funny and personable and can make friends with anyone right away. When she first meets someone, she can talk to them as if she's known them forever. And I, on the other hand, can be super awkward. And when I'm introduced to someone new, I don't know what to say. I literally have said, well, I don't know what to say, so, and I walked away. True story. Our training classes were kind of boring, so for us to pass the time, we tried to come up with some fun things to do. And Christy was immediately in this group called the Cool Kids. And I desperately wanted to be in this group. But in order for me to join, I had to fill out a survey of weird and random questions, and no one else had to do it. I must have made a good impression on my answers because I officially entered into the Cool Kids group, and we all became great friends. Out of all the cool kids in the group, Christy and I became best friends over the years. She has opened me up to try new things and to act with compassion instead of judgment, and has introduced me to traveling and to, hey, Ellie, where are you going? And to like eating other things other than Azteca and Red Robin, because that's all I would go to. I don't know where I would be in my life if I was not entered into this Cool Kids group, but I know that where I am today, I am a better person because of Christy. The fourth thing that Google told me to do was to tell a story about how I first met the groom. Well, that wasn't under the best circumstances. It was one of my birthday shindigs, and I had a lot to drink. And he was a bit different from everyone that I have met in my life. He was loud and obnoxious, he kept talking, and I was the 100% opposite of what I am. And for some reason, he wanted to continuously moon me throughout this whole time at the bar. And I kept thinking to myself, who is this dude that wants to keep mooning everyone in this bar? Is this what Christy has to deal with on a daily basis? So strange, right? But after that night, the more I got to know him, the more he grew on me and the more I liked him. And he has become one of my favorite people to hang out with in my life. The fifth thing that Google told me to do was tell a story about the couple. The one that stands out to me the most was when all three of us went to Kansas City for an away Seahawks game. It was extremely cold, and for some unknown reason, Christy had to wear Converse with thin socks. Yeah, crazy. She was standing on cold concrete and was completely miserable and couldn't even enjoy the game because she was so cold. And next thing I knew, Jeremy was literally taking his socks off, shoes and socks off to give to Christy so that she could be warm and enjoy that game. So he sacrificed his feet for her, and it was at that moment that I realized that they were truly meant to be and that he was the perfect fit for her. The sixth thing that Google told me to do was to use a prop. Well, I had no idea how to include this in my speech, so I didn't include one. But Ellie wanted to do the worm, so this will be my prop. The seventh thing Google told me to do was to share a love quote. Well, I had difficulty Googling a love quote that I liked, so I put one of my favorite quotes, or favorite poems from one of my favorite TV shows, and it's called Carrie's Poem. His hello was the ending of her endings. Her laugh was the first step down the aisle. His hand would be hers to hold forever. His forever was as simple as her smile. He said she was what was missing. She said instantly she knew. She was a question to be answered, and his answer was I do. Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City. The final thing Google told me to do was to ask the audience a question. So I'm asking you, who is ready to celebrate this awesome couple with this awesome party?
Point of view. No one to tell us no, where to go.
Okay, that's awesome. No, we're not recreating that picture, for the record. So, just to start this off, I want you to know that I am going to cry, because that is what I do, and I own it, and I'm proud of it. So, for those of you who don't know, I have known Jeremy his entire life. And despite what you may believe, I am his older and wiser sister. Being Jeremy's sister has taught me many things. Here are a few of my favorites. The first one, it is possible to injure yourself with a toilet. It is possible to misremember every childhood memory. If you don't know what I'm talking about, listen to any episode of Nerd Out Loud, and then come and talk to me and I will clarify. And 3, it is possible to create beauty from ashes. Growing up, we fought constantly. It was nearly impossible for us to get along for any stretch of time, but we grew up. I left for college, and we became closer, and I realized how much we actually did love each other. We have journeyed through a lot together, but, and here's where the tears come. I am so proud of the man that Jeremy has become, and is continuing to become. My boys are lucky to have him as an uncle. He is fun, adventurous, and he inspires me to be a better person. So, enough about him. On to his better half, Christy. Christy, I am so privileged to be able to call you my sister and my friend. You are fiercely loyal, and my brother is beyond lucky to have you in his corner. Thank you for fighting for him and for Ellie when so few would. I am so glad that my boys have gained an aunt who is going to love them and support them through all of their years ahead. And Ellie, this part's for you. You are so lucky to have the best stepmom in the entire world. You couldn't ask for a more loving, kind, thoughtful, and considerate mom. Your dad, Ellie, your dad, he's pretty great too. And he's going to inspire you and challenge you to keep dreaming and reaching for the impossible. So, Jeremy, Christy, and Ellie, I love you and I like you. Cheers.
I'm Cindy. My relationship with Christy can best be explained with interpretive dance set to national 80s TV theme songs. I left my ribbon wand in 1985, so I wrote a speech instead. Like most older siblings, Christy was my bully. She used to torture me by locking me away in random locations until I would do whatever she wanted. She once cracked my head open during one of our epic dance routines and wouldn't let me tell my parents because she was worried she'd get into trouble. One day she cut the hair on all of my Barbies and my prized possession, my gem doll. She embarrassed me in front of everyone, and she would scream at me constantly for things like borrowing her clothes, eating the same thing as her, breathing, talking to her friends, being in her room, looking at her, and my favorite, owning any piece of New Kids on the Block memorabilia that only had Donnie Wahlberg on it because Donnie was hers and I wasn't allowed to like it. But she also took care of me while our parents were away. She would let me sleep in her bed during scary thunderstorms. She played with me when we moved to new places and I didn't have any friends. She took me to cool concerts before they were cool. She talked to boys for me when I was too shy, and she once even saved my life. The physical pain and suffering we've caused each other has come and gone, and these days our relationship is a lot less dramatic. Thankfully, she's become the happy, funny, supportive friend that we all know and love. I love that she's found somebody to share years of happiness and laughter with, and excited for her opportunity to become an amazing mother to Ellie. I'm thrilled to be here tonight at McMinimans, a chain of hotels and restaurants that has held a special place in our family for years. It also happens to be where I met Jeremy for the first time 3.5 years ago. But that's an interesting story for another day. This is a place that we go to be together, to laugh, have fun, tell jokes, play games, and see those that we may not get to see too often. So it seems fitting for all of us to be here tonight to celebrate my favorite sister and newest brother-in-law and the nerdy, awkward, wonderful couple that they make.
I'm Jeremy's mother, and I can tell you more stories than you have time for. And I'm especially privileged to be Ellie's grandma. And we have lots of special days, don't we, Sadie? Well, I have to read this, and I won't make it through either because Jessica came by her tears naturally. I was honored to be asked to give a toast. Thank you for that. It meant a lot to me to be asked, and thank all of you for being here. Our toast that we're doing is tiny compared to the others, so relax, it'll be over soon. Cheers. Jeremy, I love you more than you can know, except maybe you can know now because you have a child, and there's something really amazing about the love for a child and all that we've been through. And I love you. I love you tons. And I'm so glad and proud to be your mom. You have a passionate heart that doesn't give up easily. And I love that about you. You are an amazing dad to Ellie. She is so blessed. You're way better parents than we were. I don't know how you did that, but you're really good at it. You're thoughtful and you're kind, and you found a really lovely partner in Christy, so love her well. Okay, promise? Okay. Christy, you've been a part of our family for a long time already, and I will always be grateful. As everyone else practically shared, there were some rough years there, and you stood by Jeremy and Ellie with love and an openness and a kindness that was so gratifying. Thank you. Thank you for loving me. One of the things I especially appreciate about Christy, and you all know this if you know her, is her ability to light up a room just by walking into it. You can't see what I wrote. That's bad. You are passionate, so you guys are both really passionate, and that's so good. But you're passionate about what matters to you. And I'm really proud of you for that, and that you never know the meaning of the word quit. I can't imagine you quitting on anything that you feel passionate about. So I'm glad that you feel passionate about Jeremy and Ellie. Really glad. My prayer for both of you as you navigate life together is that you will remain committed to one another. Not just when life is easy, but especially when it's hard. Marriage isn't about finding the right person. Marriage is about being the right person. It's not about compromise. It's about giving of yourself and giving up your rights for the good of the other. May God grant you wisdom and faithfulness, hope and love, as long as you live out the commitment you've made. I love you both. Cheers.
I'm Jeremy's dad. That probably was Thank you. Jeremy. Congratulations. As you and Christy journey through life, may you continue to grow in character and honor. And Christy, what a privilege to have you added to our family. I so appreciate your understanding for things that are important to us, but I suspect strike you as a little bit unusual. The latest example being the weekend you let us take Ellie and Jeremy away for a space nerd pilgrimage to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory and to see Space Shuttle Endeavour. It meant so much to me to share that time with Ellie and Jeremy. Thank you. To you both. May the Lord bless and protect you. May the Lord's face radiate with joy because of you. May he be gracious to you, show you his favor, and give you his peace. Cheers.
Yeah, so that's Christy and me. It was taken a couple years ago. So, Christy, really, I don't think we've changed that much, do you? Yeah, that's a proud daddy. But really, fathers have very little to do with the birth of a child. Radine, Chrissy's mother, was in hard labor for a long time. Bless you. Thank you for 2 wonderful daughters. Also, Jeremy, thank you for bringing me out into our lives. We love her. So, Christy, like I said, went through a hard, Radine went through a hard labor. And when Christy was born, we were at the hospital, and I got to hold her for maybe 30 seconds. And the nurse grabbed the baby away from me and says, "We're taking her up to the 5th floor where the nursery is." Well, we says, "Oh, we'll follow you." She says, "Well, no, the nursery's closed until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning." This was like 3 in the morning. Christy's grandmother was with me, Pearl, and if you knew Pearl at the time, well, we're having none of that. So since the nurse was out of the room, we got on the elevator to go up to 5, but the elevator didn't go up to 5 after hours. So we went on to a back staircase that we found and went up to 5, and we found the nursery. But the nursery had these little curtains closed. And nurseries, people don't know this now, but back then all the babies that were born that day were in like this glass cell. And well, the curtains had this little gap between the 2 curtains. So if you went on your knees, you could actually look through the gap and look into the nursery. So Pearl and I are there on our knees looking through the gap, trying to find our baby. Well, it's like a spreadsheet of babies. There's a whole bunch of rows and columns of babies. And there were about 15 in there that day. And we're looking, there, Pearl, that's my baby right there. And she goes, "Are you sure?" Because really, come on. Babies at 2 hours old, they all look alike. And Winston Churchill, that's what they look like. This is my baby, and I knew it. And Pearl goes, "Really? Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." We found out later, yes, that was my baby. This is the story that I tell Christy every day on her birthday. Later on, a couple years later, we find ourselves living in Omaha, Nebraska. Every Sunday, Christy and I would walk to the 7-Eleven, we'd buy a newspaper. The one that sticks out in memory the most, it was winter in Omaha, if you know how cold that is. Radine bundled up this little 3-year-old. She looked like a Michelin tire man. I mean, she had so many clothes on. And she took her little hand and put it in my finger, and we walked 2 blocks to the 7-Eleven. And I remember being at the stoplight, looking down at her, and I going, "Wow, when did this happen? When did my newborn baby start to walk and talk?" But not all the memories that Christy and I have together are so happy. Some of them were very frustrated. I remember several nights past midnight being at the kitchen table trying to learn new math. Neither Christy and I are good at math to this day. And we'd be crying, we'd be screaming at each other, trying to figure out this stuff. Or trying to teach her how to drive a stick shift. To this day, Christy cannot drive a stick shift. But I think that's more of my telling my inability to teach rather than it's her ability to learn. So, first steps. First words. Daddy? It was raining. First day of school. Graduations. Marriages. Each one of those things made me stop and look and say, when did this happen? We have also busy lives, and then all of a sudden these big major things happen, and we look down and we say, when did this happen? Look at all these little kids running around here tonight. Someone get a camera, get your phones out right now. Take a picture of all these little kids. This is really amazing. These kids are amazing. This is a memory. Or later tonight, there's going to be some teenager in the corner over there just looking at the phone, oblivious to everything that's going on. That's okay. That's life, right? Or maybe there's a pregnant woman in the room, and when the dancing starts, she's done dancing. Her shoes are off, she's just exhausted, sitting at the table, trying to figure out, can I sit here for one more minute? Or do I really have to put my shoes on and run as fast as I can to the bathroom? Or maybe the beautiful daughter's standing over here on her wedding reception day. With a tear in our eyes, we'll think about our babies, our spouses, our friends, or our elderly parents. And we'll wonder, when did this happen? So I have the privilege of doing the last toast tonight. It's not just for Jeremy and Ellie and Christy, but it's also for Wayne and Naomi, Mark and Jessica and Gabe and Gideon. It's for Raydeen, and it's for Cindy and Nick, and it's for Q and I and everyone in the room. May our days be blessed with love and friendship. And when we ask that question, when did this happen? Folks, it's happening right now. Observe what's going on right now. This is what it is. This is our moment. So Christy and Jeremy want to thank you all for coming from the bottom of their hearts. God bless you all. To us.